Today we talk to
Philippe Cuper in French, but you know, my grandparents came from Europa, from the center of Europa, from Poland and from Ukraine. And the name of my grandfather was Anton Cuper. And when he came in France, after the First World War, his name, the French pronounce like in French, but normally it's Cuper.
Where are you from?
The north of France, in a big city, the name is Lille. It's 12 kilometers from the Belgium frontier.
Why did you choose the clarinet?
My family did not play any music. We practice a lot of sport, and it was not a tradition. So I don't think so. Maybe before my father, my grandfather, but I don't know. At the end of the 60s, France government opened a lot of small school of music in many small city. And I live not in Lille, with a big city, but I live 3 kilometers from Lille. And the government of the city decided to open a new school of music, not expensive. We pay maybe 20 euro for 1 year. It was nothing, and they give us music instrument. So my parents asked me and asked to my brother if you want to begin music. Oh, I was 9 years old. Why not? I prefer football, but why not? And I went there and I began solfège. What I did not know is that all the teacher who teach there played at the National Orchestra of Lille, just near, and they were big professional. So I have this chance to meet big professional immediately, and I have a friend who play football with me and who play clarinet. And one day I went to his class because I wait him to play football after his class. I just practice solfège. I did not decide to play instrument. Maybe trumpet, maybe accordion. I did not know. And I heard the clarinet class, and I was very fascinated by the clarinet teacher. It was a shock. And I told to my friend after his class, oh, I want to study with your teacher. It was not the clarinet, it was a man, because for me, he was incredible. And I love this man immediately. And so the love story with the clarinet began like that.
What do you always keep in your clarinet case?
I am very classical. I have my Buffet clarinet RC, my Van Doren mouthpiece before tea, and my reed, my pen. I have always a pen. My teacher told me it's important to have a pen all the time. Very simple.
What life-changing advice have you been given?
Have fun. Have pleasure to do what you do, and try to do your best all the time, even if it's not perfect, because perfection does not exist. But we should try to do our maximum of what we can do. We cannot do another man, another person. We are ourselves, and we should not copy somebody. We cannot copy somebody. We can be inspired by somebody, some people, some person in the life, or some musician. But after, with what we are, we try to do what we can.
Can you tell us about your clarinet teachers?
My first was the teacher of Lille, Gilbert Voisin, who was a great professional who got a second prize in Geneva international competition in 1950. He was not in Paris, he was in Lille, but he was a super professional. After this, I went to Paris to have some lessons with Ulysse Delécluze, who taught at this time at the CNSM, the Conservatoire National Supérieur. And 1 year, it was not so easy. I was not in the CNSM immediately, but I have a sort of clash with Ulysse Delécluze, who was old generation. Okay, we have a problem. So I continue in Paris with Guy Danguin. Guy Danguin at this time was the principal clarinet of the Orchestre National of Radio France, or Orchestre National de France, it's the same. And I prepare the Conservatoire Supérieur, where Guy Deplus was the teacher. I enter in his class. The first year he arrived, And immediately we have a very good contact. And what is curious, that is all my clarinet teacher came from the north of France. Why? It's because in the north of France, it's like in Spain, near Valencia, there is a lot of banda, wind orchestra, every village has this banda. So we have a lot of clarinet player. And it's because of this. So my teacher came from the north, Guy de Plus too.
Can you tell us about your experience with Guy de Plus?
Guy de Plus was my third teacher. I have very good contact because he was a great teacher, a very quiet man, never nervous, always very clear. When he explained you something, he had a lot of experience. At this time, he played in the Paris Opera Orchestra, and he was also in the Octuor de Paris Octet. With this group, he traveled a lot in the world, a lot, with chamber music. So he played many things. And also, he has played before I was in his class, but he has played a lot of time. He created modern music ensemble. What before the ensemble intercontemporain, it was le domaine de musical with Pierre Boulez. He was a great friend of Pierre Boulez. So he knew a lot of things about a new modern music, of this aesthetic music, like Stockhausen, Berlioz, Boulez, you know. So he know a lot about it. He worked a lot. And so it was good for me because before him, I did not practice a lot of modern music of this type. So it was very interesting. For orchestral things, he know a lot. He know a lot of things. So he told me, he explained me many things. The teacher I have before him and after him were also very important. It was not the same. And I did not studies with many teachers at the same moment. I have only one teacher for 3 or 4 years. And after, I follow another class.
Who was Henri Drouat?
And when I finished his class, I remember I asked him to continue because I got my diploma at the Paris Conservatoire. And I asked him to continue with him. And he told me, you know, Philippe, I have my class in CNSM. I have opera, concert. I have no time. Try to do another way. So I went to another soloist in Paris from the Orchestre de Paris. At this time, it was Henri Drouart. Drouart. Probably his name is from Spanish origin. And who was also a great teacher. And a great man too. He became like my grandfather. I lost my grandfather some years ago, and he was very nice with me. And I remember I prepared some competition with him, like Munich competition or the opera. And I arrived at his home in the morning. We work all the day. His wife prepared the lunch. He has a small rest in the beginning of afternoon, and after we continue. So we practice a lot. And he never asked me any money. It's what is incredible. I have this chance. So he was a passionate man, and he gave me many experiences of his life. Himself, he got the first prize in Geneva competition in 1947. He was the first French guy to get a prize there. Also another great teacher.
How did you end up playing for Olivier Messiaen?
It was a great experience when you are a young musician and you have a great composer like him. It was a chance. It was at the Paris Opera. We recorded with our conductor of this time. It was 30 years ago. The conductor was Myung-Woon Chung from Korea, and he loved the Messiaen music. So he proposed that the Orchestre de l'Opéra de Paris recorded all the orchestral music by Messiaen. And we begin for the company Dutch Gramophone, a lot of recording of Messiaen music. And around this project, so Messiaen was there every time. So I asked him some conseil, some idea about his quartet. So it was very nice. It was a chance for me that they proposed to one of my colleagues to play the quartet. And he did not want. He was older. He told me, no, I don't want to play. I never play this piece. I don't want. So he proposed me to play. So, okay. And we have the chance to play with our conductor, who was a very good pianist, Maestro Chung. and the principal for violin and cello, principal of the orchestra, and me, and we play a concert with a rehearsal, and there is a video recording of this, which is not public. I don't think it's on YouTube. Maybe one day it will be, or maybe we will do something. But we have this recording of the concert, of the rehearsal, and we see Messiaen. We can see Messiaen. And you know, I think, I am not completely sure, but I think when we play this concert at the Paris Opera Bastille, where Messiaen came, it was the last time he heard his quartet, because it was in October 1991, and Olivier Messiaen, some months after, he became sick and he died on April 1992. So 6 months after he was dead. Probably it was the last time, or one of the last time, he heard his quartet. So he spoke a lot. He did a lot of legend about this quartet with when he composed not in the camp immediately. He composed in France first, and the first piece was a solo, L'Abîme des Oiseaux, the first movement of his quartet. He composed like a solo for clarinet, because he told me that he composed this piece when it was the beginning of the war, and between the France and Germany, and the Germans were not in France immediately, and Messiaen was in the army, like many French. And the French military wait in France for the German, and they have nothing to do all the day. And Messiaen was with a group of artists. He was with Henri Accoca, who was a clarinet player, and with Etienne Pasquier, who was a cellist at the Paris Opera. And they were together. And Henri Accoca, I don't know how, but he has a chance to have his clarinet with him. So all the day, Messiaen composed, and after he asked to Accoca to play for him. Can you try this? And after the German arrived in France, and the group with French military, like Messiaen, Pasquier, and Accoca, were prisoners, and they were sent in a camp, not a death camp, a prisoner camp at the frontier with Germany and Poland. The frontier, actually, at this time it was completely Germany, but at this time it's now it's Görlitz. It's at the frontier. And Messiaen was he has a chance to be a composer, to be an artist. He was famous at this time, and the director of the German director of the camp liked music, and he had a piano. And like that, he can compose, you see. And Henri Accoca has his clarinet. And finally, they could try to have a cello. And it was not so difficult, finally. They asked to everybody to have some money, and they went to a city near the camp to buy a cello. It's an incredible story. I have some lesson also with a cellist who explained me different stories on Messiaen. Maybe with the old age, he forget or he changed some story, but the cellist told me different story. I asked to the cellist, is it true that you play the quartet with only three strings? And he told me, no, Messiaen has told me this like that, but it was not true. I could not play his quartet with three strings. I need 4 strings. So I think Messiaen changed a little, or maybe he forget, I don't know. The piano was not great, sure. They found on the camp a violinist with his instrument, so it's true. And they play in a concert in January, I think it's 15 January 1941, in the camp, the quartet. There was about 500 person in the assistants who did not know music. But after Messiaen, he told, there was 5,000 people, and it was, he exaggerated many things. Maybe the old age, maybe mixed, yeah. I don't know. I think it's interesting to read a very good book. A student of Guy Deplu that I met in Paris many times. She's American, Rebecca Richin. She has written a nice book about the Messiaen quartet. Okay. It's published in English and it was published in French. And all she has written is true, because she make interview of the artists who met Messiaen, like Guy Leplu or me or other musicians too, and also the family of Messiaen, the family of the musician who play with Messiaen, like Akoka. And his book is very interesting. So probably the most interesting book now about Messiaen quartet. See, I remember interesting thing about L'Abîme des Oiseaux. You know, the second page, when we play the re-exposition on the octave. I remember I play as it was written, and he asked me to play mezzo forte. Because he told me, you know, at this time, the sonority of the clarinet was more project, more clear, more present. Today, the clarinetists play with a more round sound, but sometimes far, we don't hear so much. So play more. I remember this, you see? Sometimes it's interesting because the sound that we hear near and the sound we hear far is completely different. It's a question of dark or clear, and I don't want to make to advantage one clear or dark sound. I don't care. I don't care. But the projection is important.